Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day to grow, to reflect, and to become better versions of ourselves. I'm truly honored to stand before you today and speak on something that holds incredible power in shaping our lives, not just how we live, but who we become. We often chase success, happiness, and peace, but forget that the real mastery lies in managing the simplest, yet most powerful things: our mouth, mind, and money. Mastering these three can turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. Control your mouth. Words build or break. We've all heard the saying, think before you speak. But how often do we really do it? In a world where communication happens instantly through texts, tweets, and talk, it's easy to forget the power that lies in our words. The mouth, though small in size, holds the potential to either build bridges or burn them. Words are like seeds. Once spoken, they take root in someone's heart or mind. And just like seeds, they grow. A kind word can lift someone out of a dark place. A harsh comment, even if said in a moment of anger, can stay with someone for a lifetime. The scars left by a reckless tongue often cut deeper than physical wounds. Controlling our mouth doesn't mean staying silent all the time. It means speaking with intention. It means being aware that what we say carries weight. It's about choosing words that add value, not just noise. Think about how many arguments, misunderstandings, and regrets stem from things that were said too quickly. A moment of silence before reacting could save a relationship. A word of encouragement could change the trajectory of someone's entire day. A truthful yet respectful opinion could spark growth rather than conflict. Controlling your mouth also means knowing when not to speak, when to listen instead. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Silence, when used wisely, speaks volumes. It shows restraint, emotional intelligence, and maturity. And in professional settings, how we communicate can make or break opportunities. Your words are a reflection of your thoughts, your values, and your credibility. Speaking clearly, respectfully, and confidently earns trust and opens doors, but careless talk can quickly close them. Even in self-talk, the way we speak to ourselves, control matters. Telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I always mess up, or I'll never succeed, creates a mental prison. But words like, I'm trying, I can grow, and this challenge is temporary can empower and heal. Controlling your mouth isn't about suppression, it's about expression with purpose. It's learning the art of using your voice not just to speak, but to elevate. Let me know if you'd like to continue with the next keynote or if you want this expanded into the full speech. If the mouth expresses what we think, then the mind is the control room of everything. Our actions, our choices, and ultimately, our destiny. Controlling the mind isn't about avoiding thoughts, it's about mastering them. Because everything begins in the mind. Your fears, your dreams, your limitations, and your breakthroughs. Let's take a moment and really reflect. How often do you check your thoughts? Not just the loud ones, but the quiet, repetitive beliefs that play in the background, like a silent soundtrack to your life. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or nothing ever works out for me. These thoughts, if left unchecked, become your reality. Why? Because your mind drives your perception, and perception drives your behavior. Your mind is your most powerful tool, but it can also be your worst enemy if it's not trained. Just like we train our bodies in the gym, we need to train our minds daily. That means being mindful of what we consume. Not just food, but information, energy, conversations, and even environments. If you're feeding your mind fear, negativity, and comparison, don't be surprised when anxiety and self-doubt show up uninvited. Controlling your mind means building mental discipline. It's saying, I may feel fear, but I won't be ruled by it. It's learning to sit with discomfort without reacting impulsively. It's pausing when things feel overwhelming and choosing your response instead of letting emotions hijack your decision. A controlled mind is a focused mind. And focus is a superpower in today's world of distractions. When you train your mind to stay centered, you become more productive, more present, and more at peace. Instead of being pulled in 100 directions, you learn to direct your own energy toward your goals, your values, and your growth. And remember this, your thoughts are not facts. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. You have the power to challenge your thoughts, reframe your mindset, and rewire your beliefs. That's how transformation happens, not overnight, but thought by thought. Some people spend their entire lives being prisoners of their own mind, stuck in patterns of overthinking, self-doubt, fear of judgment, and past regrets. But you don't have to live like that. When you control your mind, you take back your freedom. Control your thoughts and you control your life. Money is a tool, not the root of all evil and not the ultimate source of happiness either. It's a tool that, when used wisely, can create freedom, stability, and peace of mind. But when money controls you instead of the other way around, it becomes a source of stress, tension, and regret. Controlling your money is not just about how much you earn, it's about how you manage what you earn. There are people who make a lot but live paycheck to paycheck because of poor habits. And there are people with modest incomes who live debt-free, secure, and content. Why? Because they control their money instead of letting their money control them. The truth is, every financial decision you make, every swipe of a card, every impulse buy, every skipped savings opportunity is either taking you closer to your goals or further away. It's not about being stingy or obsessed with money. It's about being mindful and intentional. Do your spending habits align with your values? Are you investing in things that grow your future or just feeding short-term pleasures? Let's be honest, a lot of us weren't taught about money. Schools don't often teach budgeting, investing, or financial literacy, so we grow up thinking that making more money is the solution, when in reality, discipline is the real wealth builder. It's not about how much you have, it's about how you use what you have. Saving smartly is more than just putting money in a bank account. It's about planning ahead for emergencies, for opportunities, for the future you want. It's about understanding the value of compound growth, delayed gratification, and financial peace. It's knowing that sometimes the smartest move isn't to earn more, it's to spend less. Controlling your money also means recognizing your emotional relationship with it. Do you spend when you're stressed? Do you buy things to impress others or to fill a void? Awareness is the first step to financial freedom, because once you understand your patterns, you can change them. And let's not forget, money is also a responsibility. When you control your finances, you're not just helping yourself, you're creating a more stable environment for your family, your future, and even your community. You can give more, invest more, and live with more peace. Financial discipline isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. The freedom to say no to things that don't serve you, and the ability to say yes to the things that truly matter. At first glance, mouth, mind, and money might seem like separate areas of life. One deals with how we speak, the other with how we think, and the last with how we spend. But if you look closely, you'll realize they are deeply connected, influencing each other in ways we often don't recognize. Mastering one strengthens the others, ignoring one weakens them all. Let's start with the connection between the mind and the mouth. What you say is a direct reflection of how you think. A chaotic mind often leads to careless speech. Words said out of frustration, insecurity, or fear. But when your mind is calm and disciplined, your words carry clarity, purpose, and power. You don't speak just to be heard, you speak to be understood, to connect, to uplift. Now consider how your thoughts influence your money. If your mind is filled with scarcity, fear, or comparison, you'll likely make decisions from a place of insecurity. You may overspend trying to keep up or underspend out of fear. On the other hand, a stable and confident mindset leads to financial decisions rooted in purpose, not pressure. It becomes easier to say no to temptations and yes to long-term goals. Then there's the link between your words and your money. How you talk about money, even in casual conversation, reflects and shapes your beliefs about it. If you constantly say things like, "I'm always broke," or "money is the root of all evil," your mindset begins to accept that as truth. You unknowingly limit yourself. But when you speak about money with responsibility and vision, "I'm building wealth," or "I'm learning how to manage better," you reinforce positive financial habits and unlock new opportunities. These three areas also work together in your relationships, career, and personal growth. Think about it. If your mind is cluttered with negativity, your mouth may speak out of turn, and you might ruin opportunities, maybe even financial ones. If your mouth is undisciplined, you could say something that affects your job, damages trust, or leads to emotional spending as a coping mechanism. If your money is out of control, stress creeps in. It clouds your thinking and causes you to speak or act in ways that damage your peace and relationship. When even one of these is off balance, it sends ripples into the other two. But when all three are in alignment, when your thoughts are clear, your words are measured, and your finances are disciplined, you step into a powerful version of yourself. You become grounded, intentional, and resilient. These aren't just separate life skills, they're part of the same system, the system of self-mastery. When you begin to treat them as connected, you don't just grow, you transform. Self-control is self-respect. Self-control isn't just about discipline. It's a form of self-respect. It's the way you tell yourself, I matter, my future matters, my peace matters more than my impulses. In a world that constantly pushes us to react fast, speak without thinking, spend without planning, and live for the now, self-restraint is a rare and powerful strength. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about honoring yourself enough to make choices that support the life you actually want. Let's break that down. When you control your mouth, you're showing respect not only to others, but to yourself. You're saying, I won't let my emotions dictate my words. I won't give others the power to pull me out of character. You value your own maturity enough to respond with grace, not react with ego. When you control your mind, you're refusing to be a slave to toxic thoughts, past trauma, or anxiety about the future. You're saying, yes, my thoughts might get loud, but I choose which ones I believe. I choose where I place my focus. That's self-respect. That's knowing you're more than your feelings in the moment. And when you control your money, you're telling yourself, I deserve a stable, secure future. I'm not going to sabotage my peace for temporary pleasures. I'm building something bigger. That's not being cheap. That's having vision. That's honoring your goals more than giving in to trends or pressure. The truth is, anyone can live recklessly. Anyone can speak carelessly, think negatively, or spend impulsively. That doesn't take strength. It just takes habit. But it takes real power to pause, to choose a better path, to say, this may be hard now, but it's worth it. Self-betrayal is a boundary you set with yourself. It's you saying, I won't tolerate self-sabotage anymore. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You may slip, you may make mistakes. We all do. But when you practice self-control, even in the smallest ways, you're building something far more important than perfection. You're building character. And character is what holds you up when everything else feels uncertain. Character is what makes people trust you, believe in you, and follow you. Character is what makes your own reflections something you can be proud of. Self-control is self-respect. And the more you respect yourself, the less likely you are to accept anything that disrupts your peace, your purpose, or your progress. Absolutely. Here's a full and empowering expansion of Keynote 6, Master These, and You Master Your Life. Master these and you master your life. Life doesn't get easier, but you can get stronger, and the strength you need doesn't always come from the outside. It comes from within, from the daily choices you make to control your mouth, your mind, and your money. These three aren't just life skills. They are the foundation of life mastery. Let's think about it. A person who knows when to speak, when to stay silent, and how to communicate with clarity and respect, that's someone who earns trust, builds lasting relationships, and inspires others. A person who can guide their thoughts, manage their emotions, and stay focused in chaos. That's someone who stays grounded in storms and calm in conflict. And someone who manages their finances with purpose, who doesn't chase instant gratification, but invests in their future. That's someone who doesn't just survive, they thrive. Each of these areas, mouth, mind, and money, reflects your ability to lead yourself. And when you can lead yourself well, you can handle anything life throws at you. You can walk into any room with confidence. You can make better decisions. You can build a life that isn't just successful in appearance, but solid at the core. Here's the truth. Most people are chasing results without building the habits that create them. They want peace without managing their thoughts. They want respect without managing their words. They want freedom without managing their money. But real power comes when you stop chasing outcomes and start mastering yourself. Because once you do that, once you've learned how to pause before you speak, to shift your thinking before it spirals, to walk away from unnecessary spending, you've done something many never achieve. You've taken ownership of your life. Mastering your mouth, your mind, and your money means you no longer live on autopilot. You don't let your emotions, your past, or your environment control you. You move with intention, with clarity, with discipline. And that kind of life, that's not just successful, that's powerful, that's free. Let me know if you'd like the full speech stitched together from all 6 expanded keynotes. I can blend them into a seamless, impactful delivery for you. In the end, life doesn't demand perfection, it demands intention. It's not about controlling everything around you. It's about learning to control what's within you. Your mouth, your mind, and your money may seem like everyday parts of life, but they are powerful tools. Tools that shape your relationships, your mental peace, your financial future, and most importantly, your character. Control your mouth and you gain influence. Control your mind and you gain clarity. Control your money and you gain freedom. Each day gives you the chance to take ownership of these areas. It starts with awareness, builds through discipline, and grows with consistency. And when you master these three, you don't just manage life better, you rise above it. You lead it. You live it fully, intentionally, and on your own terms. So today I leave you with this. Don't just chase a good life. Build it by mastering the things that matter most. Thank you.